Hello, my name is Joshua Haney and I am a saxophonist and educator. Today I'm coming at you from Raleigh, North Carolina to review Yanagisawa's newest addition to the classical saxophone mouthpiece market, their AC series of mouthpieces. Today I have the AC140 mouthpiece, and before we proceed, I wanted to thank Selmer, who is the North American distributor for Yanagisawa saxophone products, for providing these review copies. Now first, a little bit of history. Yanagisawa is a Japanese make who has a long history of making finely crafted saxophones and has for many decades had their products distributed in North America by Selmer. Yanagisawa states that their objective for this product is to create a mouthpiece that produces not only a warm sound, but is also comfortable, easy to play, and has really quick articulation, and most importantly is at home in a symphonic kind of setting. So now some details about this mouthpiece. The AC140 is a very simple name. It's Alto, Classical, and then 140 means 1.4 millimeters, which translates to about 0.55 inches. That's a very standard tip opening, kind of comparable to an AL3 or Selmer S80C star, something that a lot of classical players will find very comfortable. The facing is described as 22 millimeters, which is again a medium long facing similar to the Selmer products. In addition to the AC140 that I have here, they also offer a larger version, the AC150, which also accordingly is 1.5 millimeters or 0.59 inches at the tip. Otherwise, the two mouthpieces are exactly the same. On the outside of the mouthpiece itself, you'll find just a simple Yanagisawa logo, and then on the shank of the mouthpiece, Yanni AC140. I think it's kind of cute actually that Yanagisawa acknowledges that a lot of people call their products Yanni. Apart from the logo and the Yanni AC140 mark on the shank, there's not really much else to say about the external appearance of the mouthpiece. It's very understated and really not much to really comment on. This understated external appearance is also reflected in the packaging and presentation, which is just a simple expandable tube that the mouthpiece ships in. Now the mouthpiece is well protected and the tube does its job, but it doesn't really provide much documentation on the features of the mouthpiece other than what you bought. Internally, the mouthpiece is very traditional, but also has a few unique qualities that they wanted to import. A lot of modern classical mouthpieces like to go with a thicker tip rail and thicker side rails in order to darken up the sound a little bit. However, Yanagisawa have avoided this trend and have actually gone with a thinner set of rails in order to make response perhaps a little bit quicker. In addition, they have paid special attention to the transition from the floor into the chamber, and they claim that their design enables a smoother transition of the air to allow for quicker response even still. The chamber itself is round, in about a medium round shape, very standard stuff, and it's kind of similar to the designs that the Van Doren mouthpieces or the Selmer concept use. Before I playtest this mouthpiece, I just wanted to give you a quick little overview on my process and how I'll be doing it. The mouthpiece will be paired with a D'Addario 3+ reed. This is my normal reed strength. Beyond the reed, I will pair the mouthpiece with my usual Ishimori gold-plated ligature. And all of that stuff will be put on my Selmer Series 3 Alto, which, as I've said before, is a neutral horn and really lets the mouthpiece speak for itself. All of this will be compared against my Selmer S9190, which is my usual daily mouthpiece. So, without further ado, let's do some playing tests for you guys. as you heard, those mouthpieces are very different, so let's break it down. The Yanagisawa definitely lives up to the goal of wanting to create a clean, warm, and responsive mouthpiece that would work in a symphonic setting. I was really pleased to see that challenging notes, such as low B or middle register notes like middle D, or even the altissimo, all responded incredibly easy. I would even dare say that this mouthpiece is a bit easier to play than my Selmer. Additionally, the tone, while warm, is a little bit brighter than the Selmer. I personally prefer a little bit of a darker tone that has a strong emphasis on the lower overtones, while having enough flexibility to be able to craft the sound into what I want. However, the Yanagisawa has a little bit less of the fundamental and lower overtones and a little bit more of the higher overtones. While the mouthpiece isn't bright by any means, it is brighter than other classical mouthpieces that are kind of comparable. I definitely think it would work just fine in a band, orchestra, solo, or chamber music setting. However, if you are a very bright player naturally, this might not be the mouthpiece for you. On the other hand, if you're a dark player, this would be a great mouthpiece to kind of liven up your sound just a little bit. Something that really struck me in the difference between these two mouthpieces was how different the intended impact was on the listener. For example, the Selmer mouthpiece has a very direct sound. While it's a little bit darker, it kind of hits you in the face and has a ton of projection. It's very easy to blow into it and play very loud, or if you need to play a little more quietly, it can come down too. The Yanagisawa probably offers an overall more easy to play sound, but it has a little bit less impact on the listener when it comes to pure projection. For those of you that are striving for a more delicate or intimate sound, this is a great choice. The more I think about it, this mouthpiece lives in a very interesting tonal space, somewhere between the circle-chambered Van Doren mouthpieces and the horseshoe-chambered Rousseau mouthpieces. It has kind of the delicate brilliance of the Rousseau mouthpieces while having the reed friendliness and similar design of a Van Doren mouthpiece. Having said that, this Yanagisawa mouthpiece is more easy to play and responsive than any of those. This is probably the most responsive and easy to play classical mouthpiece that I've run across so far. In general, I also found intonation to be very stable, and I didn't really encounter anything unexpected when playing this. And once again, this mouthpiece isn't going to fix anything, but it's also not going to create new problems, which is exactly what you want. In terms of pairing this mouthpiece with your own horn, I actually think this mouthpiece would work extremely well with Yanagisawa's saxophones, go figure. Yanagisawa's saxophones tend to have a darker, more compact, and thicker sound, and this mouthpiece by contrast has a lighter, very articulate sound, and those things may come together and provide the best of both worlds. Overall, this is a wonderful first attempt by Yanagisawa at a true classical mouthpiece, and it leaves me wanting to try out the AC140 mouthpiece as well. If I just had to guess, that mouthpiece, being slightly more open, would probably play with a little more round sound, as well as have a little bit more of the impact and projection that I look for in my own classical concept. I think this mouthpiece represents a good value. However, I wish that there was a little bit more effort put into the presentation. I consider it to be a little bit lackluster, especially when you're comparing it to other mouthpieces in this price category, such as the Selmer or the Van Dorens. The Selmer and Van Doren offer much better packaging and a little bit more flair on the mouthpiece design itself, and with the Selmer you also get a bite patch included, as well as some pretty nice packaging and documentation, and even a microfiber cloth bag. However, in spite of that, the Yanagisawa has it where it counts, and it plays really well. It's an easy recommendation for me if it fills the needs that you're looking for in a mouthpiece. Once again, thanks for watching another saxophone mouthpiece review from myself. And also, a big thank you to Selmer for making this review possible and providing the review unit. It's so wonderful to work with a great company that wants us to try out and talk about their new products, and I think this one is a real winner. Thanks again. Stay tuned for more reviews. There's a whole lot of great stuff in the pipeline coming up in the next few weeks. And also, if you wouldn't mind, check out some information about the mouthpiece. I've linked it down in the description. Comment, rate, and subscribe, and let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one.